Hello, my name is Martin Sillards, and this presentation is about game design process. Game design process can be divided into 3 stages. In the conceptual phase, the idea for the new game is designed. Also, other fundamental decisions are made, like a game genre, is it multiplayer or single-player game, are made. And those decisions normally can't be changed later. In the production phase, the game is designed and developed in iterations. So designing and developing and testing are done at the same time in several cycles. And finally, in the adjustment phase, the game is tested and tuned. All the features are locked and new ideas are not added. In the concept stage, all fundamental aspects of the game are decided. For example, what is the general idea for the game? What is the goal of the game? What will be the genre of the game? For example, is it an adventure game or is it an action game? Who is the main target audience for this game? How to engage them? What the players can do? How to attract them? What kind of activities they can do, and what is the fun factor of the game? Why should I play or why should I buy it? What kind of achievements or power or creativity, what kind of fantasy or action or challenges this game can provide. For the production stage, the game idea is fixed. Normally it is not changing during the production. And in this stage, game design, building and testing is done at the same time in different iterations. So the first part of the production can be called as pre-production because different prototypes and working examples are generated for the game. Next, game designers usually try to find resources for publishing and game dissemination, and later on the full production is going on in several iterations. The list of game elements that should be designed and developed during this process is quite long. Normally game designers start from gameplay, which is challenges and actions for the game. Gameplay is normally presented in different modes. For example, for a car racing game, the racing is the main mode and tuning the car is the additional mode. Secondly, game mechanics should be designed. It means different game elements and rules and conditions between those different game objects. If the game is character-based, then avatars and non-player characters should be designed. How the game world should look like. Is it realistic or is it more fantasy-based? What are the physical, time, and emotional aspects for this environment? How the game story should go. Not all of the games are based on stories, but for example, adventure games are. And finally, levels. How all those components, characters, challenges, actions, mechanics, game world items, and story items are integrated with each other. Designing and developing games is not a trivial task. Different competences are needed, and usually this work is done in a smaller or in a bigger team. Of course, every team needs a project manager who is coordinating all the work. Conceptual designer is needed who keeps the vision. Modern games are heavily graphical, so graphical designers and animators are needed. If the game is based on story, then a writer is needed who is creating the backstory for the game or dialogues for the non-player characters. Usually writers are not responsible for technical writing. This is a task for technical people. Audio designers who are responsible for background or ambient music and sound effects. And of course developers, one or more developers who are producing the code for the game. And finally testers, but usually they don't belong to the same team. How different skills are needed during the project lifecycle is presented in this chart that is from the book, the Computer Games Design course. As you can see, the role of the designer and artist is a beginner in the beginning of the project and smaller in the end of the project. Animators and programmers are needed in the middle of the project, and sound engineers and testers mostly in the end of the project. And the project manager is important during the entire project. But we will focus mostly on designers. So what are those competences needed among designers? Of course, designers need to have an imagination, visual thinking, conceptual thinking, ability to see alternatives. They need to have also some technical skills. They don't do the programming on their own, but they need to understand what is possible to do and what is not. Also, analytical skills are nice to have. It's related with the ability of designing game rules and also balancing those rules. Math is needed because mostly those rules are mathematical equations. Some sense of style, understanding of basic rules of composition, color composition, they belong all to the skills of aesthetics. Some research skills, how to find background information, how to find resources. Some writing skills, let's say mostly technical writing, but also some drama writing skills, drawing skills. Conceptual designers doesn't do the final graphical artwork, but they need to know how to design and draw sketches. And finally, how to synthesize all this together, how to bring those ideas together. Most of the information that was introduced during this presentation is from the book called Fundamentals of Game Design that is written by Ernst Adams. But you can find similar information also from books like the Computer Games Design course, Principles, Practices and Techniques to the Aspiring Game Designer. And some of the examples are from the game Time Mesh that was produced by the project called C-League. And this is the end of game design process presentation.